The Biden administration promised a future where America's children would ride to school on clean, quiet, zero-emissions electric buses. Now a reality check. Billions of your taxpayer dollars were poured into the Clean School Bus program with the goal of replacing diesel fleets across the country with battery-powered buses. But the reality on the ground looks far different. Instead of leading the way toward a green revolution, many school districts are quietly turning back to diesel, forced there by broken promises, bankrupt companies, and electric buses that can't stay on the road. Plus, the impact of weather has been a huge factor that, of course, was never figured in. At the center of the collapse is Lion Electric, a Canadian company that once stood as a showcase for Washington's push toward electrification. In 2022, the Biden administration awarded Lion $159 million to produce 435 electric school buses, making it the third largest recipient of U.S. tax-funded subsidies under the Clean School Bus program. And just a few years ago, Lion was valued at nearly $5 billion and touted as a true success story. Today, the reality, it's bankrupt, sold for only $6 million in liquidation, and unable to deliver $95 million worth of buses it had promised American school districts. Now, I'm sure you're saying, what about our tax dollars? They're gone for good. But before we dive in deeper, here's a quick word from our video sponsor. If you have digestive issues, it could be caused by a toxin that's in all of those so-called healthy foods that scientists have been telling us to eat with the fraudulent food pyramid for decades. According to Dr. Gundry, a world-renowned cardiologist, this is affecting millions of people nationwide. Warning signs include weight gain and fatigue, digestive discomfort, and stiff joints, even skin problems. Dr. Gundry explains these side effects, which are often mistaken for normal signs of aging because of digestive issues, usually develop over a matter of years and sometimes even decades. The good news is you can easily help fix the problem from your own home, and it's very simple. You just have to know which foods are actually healthy and which ones contain those potential hidden toxins. So you can find out for yourself at gutcleanseprotocol.com/car. After years of research, Dr. Gundry has released an informative video to the public, free, and showcasing exactly which foods you need to avoid. Go find that video at gutcleanseprotocol.com/car or click the link in the description below. The fallout has been swift and painful. Lion Electric closed factories, terminated most of its workforce, and informed districts that warranties and purchase orders in the U.S. would no longer be honored. For the schools that had already taken delivery of Lion buses, this left them literally stranded. The districts now own vehicles with limited repair options, little access to replacement parts, and no manufacturer support. For schools still waiting for buses, those vehicles will never arrive. This sounds like an electric postal truck issue. We've covered that before on our channel. More money gone for good. In Michigan, Homer County School District Superintendent Mike Leskowich saw firsthand how the promises unraveled. His district received $2.8 million in federal funding to acquire 7 Lion buses. At first, the idea fit neatly into the Biden administration's narrative: clean buses for children, less reliance on fossil fuels, and a modernized fleet. But when Lion collapsed, the warranties collapsed with it. Leskowich described the frustration of trying to keep the buses running without manufacturer support, noting that his team has already begun sourcing parts on their own. He admitted that while the district will keep the electric buses operational for as long as possible, the long-term plan is to return to diesel. The simple reality is that diesel buses cost far less, roughly $100,000 compared to $350,000 for an electric version, and they are far easier to maintain. Remember, those extra costs go into your school taxes, and they're about to rise to offset the difference. In New York State, modernizing public school transportation with zero-emissions buses has been a priority of Governor Kathy Hochul. It's not just the purchase of the buses. The districts are concerned as the infrastructure needed to be built out to charge the buses, and it isn't there. And some school districts have big concerns about the distance of trips and charging with very cold weather. And recently, they lost power, because the draw on the grid was too much and there was no way to charge their buses. And no power at all. Now, New York State estimates that the transition could cost between $8 and $15 billion. New York State estimates that the transition could cost between $8 and $15 billion, more than replacing the diesel buses, with only about 10% of this covered by the state and the federal funding. The difference always falls on the taxpayers. So expect an increase in taxes, and I live in New York State, and I'm expecting it. Other districts are in the same position. In Louisiana, Madison Parish Superintendent Charlie Butler reported that his 14 Lion buses are still new, but repairs are already becoming a challenge. Even relatively small issues require specialized service and funding his district must cover, increased taxes. In Maine, Winthrop Public Schools has already pulled several Lion buses from service after repeated breakdowns. Officials say that they're reported that these buses couldn't generate heat during the winter, lost steering and braking ability, displaying constant error codes and premature tire wear, and failed structurally with defective frames. Some serious issues when you're transporting children. Colleen Souza, the assistant of the superintendent, said the buses did not run for more than a month before needing more repairs. This is just not good all the way around. And the problems extend beyond buses that are already delivered. Districts that were promised vehicles have been left in limbo. In Ohio, Superintendent Dawn Wallace of the Ohio Valley School District said not a single bus has been delivered, and their district has given up hope for ever getting them. And Bureau Valley School District in Illinois expressed similar concerns, with leaders waiting to see whether bankruptcy proceedings will resolve anything. In the meantime, both districts are sticking with diesel fleets that are reliable and readily serviceable. This was never how the program was advertised. The Clean School Bus Program was rolled out in 2021 as part of the infrastructure bill, pitched as one of the Biden administration's Mark Climate initiatives. Kamala Harris championed the effort in 2022 with language meant to resonate emotionally. Quote, "Who doesn't love a yellow school bus, right? It's part of nostalgia, a memory of the excitement and joy of going to school." The plan was to turn that nostalgia into green energy success story. The reality? The initiative is becoming a cautionary tale about spending too much money, unproven technologies, and just bad ideas. The economics alone should have raised red flags. An electric school bus costs more than 3 times as much of a diesel bus. On top of that, the school district must invest in expensive charging infrastructure, retrain the staff, and adjust to entirely new maintenance procedures and, of course, the additional costs of insurance and charging. For many districts operating on already tight budgets, this represents a massive financial strain. Federal grants were meant to bridge the gap, but when the manufacturers collapse or fail to support their products, the burden shifts back to the taxpayers and local school systems, and we all get an increase in our taxes. The Lion Electric bankruptcy has laid bare a broader problem with the administration's green energy agenda. The government is investing heavily in companies that lack the stability to deliver. Many of those companies have disappeared. And when those companies fail, it's not just a financial loss on paper, it disrupts communities, derails planning for school districts, and forces local officials to scramble for alternatives, which again means raising your school taxes and your property taxes. Lion's bankruptcy has the school districts left holding the bag and cannot provide them with any solutions. There is no immediate plan to replace the undeliverable buses, honor the lost warranties, or reimburse schools that now face unanticipated repair costs, and no way to get our tax dollars back. For many districts, the path forward is clear. They will continue operating their existing diesel fleets and purchase new diesel buses when needed. The reliability, affordability, and the ease of maintenance outweigh the risks of adopting to electric buses without the proven long-term support that they cannot provide. The infrastructure has not been improved, and charging is still a huge issue. The lesson here is not that all electric buses are inherently impossible, but that the federal mandates and the subsidies cannot force the change. When taxpayer money is funneled into companies based on political goals rather than the market viability, the outcome is predictable: stranded assets, wasted funds, and delusional communities. School districts are pragmatic. Their priority is to get children to school safely and on time. And if electric buses cannot be maintained, cannot be repaired, and cannot be delivered, then districts will do what they have always done: turn back to diesel. And for now, this is exactly what they're doing. If you like this video, give it a like and subscribe for more videos like this, and check out our car review channel, Car Smarts. You can support me by buying me a cup of coffee, and if you want even more content, check out the links in the description. I'm Lauren Fix. Thank you so much for watching.